Double the drops, double the garbage. Today I'm going to be showing you how to optimally use your Realm of the Strange drop event. As I am recording and uploading this video, this event is already out on Asia and EU servers, and there is about an hour left until it is on NA. Just wanted to have that noted before the video, so let's get straight into it. So how this is going to be going is I'm going to literally be going over every single cavern and recommending different caverns on why I recommend them or don't recommend them. Starting it off with the first one at Storage Zone, which includes the ice set and also the best set in the game. As cool and as broken as Eagle set is, unfortunately for most players this will not be a cavern to farm because the ice set is pretty much worthless. Not a single ice character uses this anymore. Every actual ice character has a better option to use. This is more of a fallback option if you already have this from playing from a long time. While the Eagle set is great for not only people that want to go for high cycles, zero cycles, hitting thresholds that matter, it can also be pretty good in casual play, letting you act before enemies and such, as long as you do take account for your tunings. But as I mentioned, this cavern only really has one set, so I recommend using a Realm of the Strange drops on something else and using a Relic Remains if you really do want the Eagle set. Next one, we have the Physical set and also Thief set. I don't recommend this one at all. Physical set is never going to be the best in slot, and Thief set is practically never used either. Only one who could really use 4-piece of the Thief set is often one of the break characters or Fugue specifically. And even for them, there's just better options to do. Hence why having two relatively bad sets overall, it's just not worth the farm. Next one is the Passerby set and also Musketeers. Don't recommend this one either. Musketeers is never really the best in slot. The only one it's really technically best in slot for is Isle Dawning and Hunt March 7th. And for them, the difference is very negligible within 1 to 2%. Passerby 4-piece isn't really used that much either. It's really for specific setups that really require that extra skill point. So even if you're in the case where you do really need that extra skill point at the beginning of the battle and you have someone that can hold this set, Relic Remains would be the way to go. Next one with the Guard set and also the Genius set. Genius set still does see some frequent play. Any quantum DPS that isn't one of the HP scalers, so Chibi or Castra specifically, really always will use this. Even 4-piece on someone like Anoxa, it becomes the best in slot in a lot of scenarios. So while it is a common set, it's really only paired with 2-piece of the Guard set because 4-piece, really no one uses this at all. Only time I'd recommend farming this is if you have a lot of people that benefit from the Genius set and you are running someone that has the 2-piece reduction from 8% from the Guard set. If you are in that case where you actually are able to use the 2-piece, then I would recommend farming this because Genius set is still a very valuable set. While Guard is very much neglected because again, really no one runs this, but if you are someone that could benefit from 2-piece, then it is recommended. Otherwise, don't bother. Next up, we do have Knight set and also the Band set. Knight set, most people will use this on their Jeopard if they still use them. On full sustained adventuring as well, they will use this, so that's why this set doesn't have negative value, but it's still not too valuable anymore. On the flip side, we do have the Band set, which similar to the Ice set, really no one uses this anymore, but it's not as bad. Like someone like Kafka and Jigwan can still use this, but it's definitely not the one you want to farm. Like Kafka specifically and Jigwan specifically both have their own set you could farm with the follow-up set and also Prisoner set, which funny enough is in the same cavern. This is not the best slot for anyone anymore, so that's why I don't really overall recommend farming this, but if you're okay with using this on one of those characters and you really need the Knight set, then you can farm it, but overall I recommend avoiding this one. Next up, we'd have the set with Firesmith and also Wastelander. I don't really recommend farming this one either because Firesmith 4-piece is absolutely horrible. And Wastelander still has a good 4-piece, but only person who can really use this nowadays is DP as well. So realistically, no one really uses Wastelander anymore. It's mainly if you're doing a 2-piece setup while you have pieces laying around farming for a better set. Overall, not really generally recommended to farm either of these. This was never farmable because it was just always bad, and Wastelander doesn't really have that much value anymore, so you don't really want to bother. Next up is the Disciple set alongside Hackerspace. Disciple 4-piece, you really only use it on Blade. Otherwise, it's really just a 2-piece you'd put that on someone like Bushwan or any other healer. Which the 2-piece is valuable because a lot of these sustain/healer characters often do run 2-piece. They don't always have to have a 4-piece unless you're someone like Hyacinth specifically. Which is why overall this set does have some pretty decent value still. Flip side, we do have Hackerspace, which is still a very valuable set. For the 2-piece alone with 6% speed, 2-piece speed setups are very common and good. And 4-piece is also still really good. Having the Were User ultimate on an ally gives everyone 12% speed for one turn. Very valuable set still, so this is actually a good overall cavern to farm, as every account could probably benefit from better Hackerspace pieces. But just make sure you do have people that can use the Disciple set as well, otherwise there's not really a point in bothering and you're better off going with Relic Remains. Next up is the follow-up set and also the dot set. This one's pretty straightforward. If you have Jing-Wan and or Topaz, then this set has value to you, and if you have any dot team setup or you're even going to summon for Hyselins who's coming up, then the dot set has value to you. So if you are a dot user or you want to get into it and are planning on getting into it, especially with Hyselins coming up, and you do have Jing-Wan and Topaz and you do use them, then this is recommended. Otherwise, Relic remains for one or the other. Pioneer and also Watchmaker being the next cavern. Watchmaker, if you still are using Break, you usually will put this on just kind of like Ruan Mei, that's kind of it. And also Harmony Trailblazer, so if you do use those two, then the set does have some value. Pioneer, still very broken set. Any DPS that likes damage with debuffs, or is just ran on a debuff team, very good set for them, always will be for a long time. Which is why it's actually just a really good set to farm. Most people also do have Ruan Mei, so if you want better pieces on Ruan Mei, which you most likely will, Watchmaker will have some value there, so if you're someone that uses Break on one of those two characters that benefit from it, and practically everyone will have a DPS or two that benefits from Pioneer. Most cases, this would be a recommended one, but if you're not really having Ruan Mei on the Watchmaker set and you're not using Harmony Trailblazer or you're just not using Break in general, then go ahead and use your Relic Remains on Pioneer instead and farm something else. Next up is Iron Calvary and Wind-Soaring. This one is also pretty straightforward because both of these sets aren't really used by too many people. Any Break DPS uses Iron Calvary, while Wind-Soaring only goes to Fei Xiao and Yunli, and also Moze. So very straightforward. If you use Buto and or Firefly and or Rappa, then Iron Calvary has value to you, and if you also use Fei Xiao / Moze / Yunli, then this cavern actually does have some good value, but if you're not really using one or the other, then you guessed it, Relic remains. And now we have the set with the best value in the game, Relived Ordeal alongside Scholar. Quite literally every single account is going to have a benefit from Relived Ordeal and Scholar. Both these sets are super good. Some of the best Harmony characters do use the Relived Ordeal set, such as Sunday, works great on Sparkle and Bronya. Upcoming character Ceridra can use this pretty well as well. And even if you're not using the 4-piece, 2-piece is 6% speed, very valuable. Flip side, any skill DPS is going to love this set. 2-piece is also very universal for your DPSs with 8% crit rate. And the 4-piece is really strong. Great for some very broken DPS in the current meta, such as the Herda on Noxa and Mide. Works great on Jinglu. Actually is pretty usable on Finon. It's not his best slot, but it does work. A lot of characters can use this. There's so many to name, which is why Scholar is always in demand. So practically for any single account, overall I would recommend this cavern unless you already just have really good pieces on both sets and you don't need any more. In that case, you would pass it up, but this is the good old reliable, especially of the era we're in right now. Next up is the hero set and also the poet set. There's really only two people that could use the hero set, one being Aglia, two being RMC technically. RMC really just does the 2-piece setup instead, but can use this especially for damage. Flip side, we have Poet, which is great for Tribi, Castris, and other characters such as Archer, the Herda, Yunli. They all have setups for this. So if you do want to get the best damage out of your RMC and you do want to get a good build on hero, and or you also do have Aglia, this set does gain value, and a lot of accounts are going to have a combination of Tribi, Castris, or if you're doing a setup of something else, once again, low speed Yunli, which she always has low speed, getting the full crit rate out of that. Same thing with Clara, the Herda setup, so on. If you are doing setups with those, or you actually have the characters that have this as their best slot, this is pretty valuable. Otherwise, again, Relic remains. And finally, we have the newest place with the Warrior Goddess set and also the Wavestrider Captain set. The Warrior Goddess set is kind of niche right now. Not so niche, but kind of niche. This mainly is the set you would think of when you are building Hyacine, but this does also work with characters like Luotra or Gallagher, or really just any healer, since it also becomes the same as running 2-piece speed and 2-piece speed, but at the same time having Gentle Rain will give you an extra 15% crit damage for your entire team and cannot stack. So putting that on Luotra or Gallagher, because they are able to provide healing, it's not exclusive to Memo Sprite, you are able to get an increased buff for them. So if you are using a healer that could benefit your team with the crit damage, and they themselves are getting benefited from speed, which, you know, practically is every healer, you want to get as much speed as possible, this set is going to be valuable for you, especially if you are running Hyacine specifically. Flip side, we do have Wavestrider Captain, which only really is best in slot right now for Finon and Saber. But any hyper carry you are using that is an attack scaler and gets targeted by allies to get the actual help stacks consumed for attack. And that can also apply to specific setups with the Noxa and stuff. As long as you are able to run someone that does have the attack buff active at a lot of times and is the one being targeted, you would be able to use this on them, but overall it's really just Saber and Finon for now. Two-piece is also pretty universal with the 16% crit damage. So this one also does have pretty good value. Again, really any healer can use this 4-piece set. And Wavestrider, Firedon, and Saber are both going to be very high owned characters, so there is a big likely chance that you do own them, which does actually increase the value of the set. But if you don't have them, so you only really would benefit from Warrior Goddess, go ahead, use your Relic Remains. Same thing with vice versa. If you're not really using healer nowadays, and you do have Firedon and or Saber, then you just use your Relic Remains on this instead. And that does wrap it up. The overall reoccurring theme is you want to find one that you get benefited off of both, because for the most part, you're not really going to get better pieces from this actual event because that's just Relic Farming 101. But to optimize your chances, it would be better to pick two sets because then you have two different chances on two different sets to get something for other characters. For example, I need a lot of better 2-piece speed pieces, and I would also like better pieces for 4-piece Warrior Goddess to run on someone like Luocha, while I also need a new set for Anoxa, I need a new set for Firedon, and I need a new set for Saber. I'm going to be doing this one because it is also with Wavestrider Captain. So that is why I'm going to be choosing this, but I could also choose something like Scholar and Relieved Ordeal because that is just such a good set. All my characters could use better Relieved Ordeal pieces. I have a bunch of Scholar pieces that I could get as well. Pretty much just aim for the set that does have two different sets that you would want. I do hope you guys found the video helpful. If you did, drop a like, would be greatly appreciated. If you're new to the channel or haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon for future videos like this along with all the types of style content. And I'll see you later. Peace out.